It's the worst tape you've ever seen in your life. I have no idea how I got the part.
It just is far more difficult. Now, I've never been in it, but from what I observed.
What happens when two drastically different Snow White interpretations collide head-on? On the one hand, Hollywood's rising talent Rachel Zegler is promoting a daring feminist remake of the iconic princess, rejecting the cherished 1937 film and redefining Snow White's legacy. On the other hand, Brett Cooper, a former Daily Wire celebrity and YouTuber, is striving to keep Snow White's original charm alive while remaining faithful to the timeless characteristics that made the narrative memorable. However, this is more than simply fairy tale interpretations. It is a cultural conflict.
I feel like we are in the same boat that Disney and Walt Disney was in 100 years ago because we are attempting something huge. We're going up against Disney. We have our critics, but we have passion and we have a mission in mind that is bigger than just this.
With financial troubles in the daily news, furious behind-the-scenes turmoil, and a social media firestorm of polarizing fan reactions, this duel is about much more than a princess. So, which Snow White will rule supreme? The contemporary reinterpretation or the sentimental return to tradition? The drama is only beginning, and the eventual ending may surprise you. Snow White has long surpassed her role as a simple fairy tale figure, becoming a cultural icon. She has been an integral part of Disney magic since her debut in 1937. However, with two dramatically divergent interpretations of the character emerging today, her legacy is now at a crossroads. On the one hand, Rachel Zegler, fresh from her recent musical breakthrough, presents a contemporary, liberated Snow White. On the other hand, Brett Cooper's conventional approach to Snow White stands in sharp contrast, attempting to preserve the fairy tale's original beauty. As several interpretations take shape, tensions rise over which version will genuinely capture Snow White's heart and gain the public's approval. Meanwhile, Zegler's outspoken comments, along with rumors of financial trouble at the Daily Wire, have fueled the controversy. Fans wonder whether Snow White will keep faithful to the cherished story and which will fall under the weight of modern demands. Disney's 1937 film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs established the gold standard for animated fairy tales, enthralling viewers with innovative animation, a unique soundtrack, and unforgettable characters. The film's ageless themes of innocence, benevolence, and love have persisted through generations. But now that these new adaptations are causing intense disputes, the question is which version will remain loyal to the character's core and which will fail to live up to its heritage. For many, Disney's original film is a cherished childhood memory, with classic moments of Snow White singing with woodland creatures and being woken by true love's kiss. However, as society develops, so do authors' perspectives on great stories. Some say that these modifications are required to empower current audiences, while others believe they undercut the original appeal in pursuit of trends. Rachel Zegler's portrayal of Snow White has sparked debate. When Disney revealed her hiring in the live-action adaptation, it elicited mixed emotions. Zegler, best known for her appearance in the famous musical West Side Story, immediately became a divisive figure after publicly criticizing the 1937 masterpiece. In interviews, she criticized Snow White's search for true love, advocating instead a story focused on self-reliance and leadership. She proposed that Snow White should grow from the classic damsel in distress to a self-sufficient character who commands authority. At first, Zegler's novel strategy looked to put a modern princess in command of her realm. However, many admirers believe that this deprived Snow White of the innocence and purity that made her so renowned. Critics criticized Zegler of disrespecting the original picture, particularly after admitting she had only seen it once. Fans were concerned that a cynical, modernized version of Snow White would eclipse the character's trademark benevolence and moral fortitude. Zegler's remarks ignited a larger cultural discussion, with some praising her progressive storytelling and others claiming she was disrespecting a revered institution. Brett Cooper, an unexpected competitor, surfaced just as the situation looked to be escalating. Brett Cooper, renowned for her YouTube presence and work with the conservative Daily Wire, made headlines by unveiling her own Snow White remake. Cooper's rendition, unlike Zegler's feminist reinvention, aims to restore the narrative to its conventional foundations. According to early rumors, her remake would draw on both the original Brothers Grimm tale and Disney's iconic style, which includes a kind-hearted heroine, a beautiful romance, and the magical allure that has made Snow White a favorite story for decades. Cooper's approach resonated with many of his admirers. They embraced the prospect of returning to a Snow White untouched by current criticism. Her version appeared to be the ideal counterbalance to the politically heated storylines in today's media. However, not everyone was convinced. Some believed that Cooper's more conventional approach would appear antiquated or unduly conservative, particularly in juxtaposition to the feminist themes of other current reimaginings. Whispers of financial issues at the Daily Wire, where Cooper previously worked, and rumors of internal divisions and her likely departure complicated this competition, raising concerns about the impact on her Snow White project. These behind-the-scenes tragedies piqued public attention, leaving many eager to see how the adaptation would unfold. Brett Cooper's move into Hollywood has stirred conjecture. Some perceive her resignation as a brave decision to define her career outside of the restrictions of the Daily Wire, while others question whether it was due to workplace dispute. In any case, the timing has heightened the appeal of her proposal. As Zegler's Snow White received criticism, Cooper discreetly worked on her own adaptation, winning recognition for following a more conventional approach. The real question is how this continuous controversy will affect Cooper's picture. Might the negative coverage surrounding the Daily Wire harm her endeavor, or might it benefit her by portraying her as a daring outsider breaking free from corporate constraints? In any case, the increased interest in Hollywood's behind-the-scenes dynamics suggests that her Snow White rendition will be worth seeing. While Cooper hasn't resigned from the film photography industry in a while, at its root, this competition involves more than two actresses performing the same character. It indicates a broader cultural conflict. On the one hand, Zegler's version promotes development through a contemporary narrative of empowerment, independence, and leadership. On the other hand, Cooper's concept is based on eternal characteristics as love, compassion, and hope, which have made Snow White a symbol of purity for millennia. The situation has only gotten worse with Zegler's controversial remarks, which critics say undermine the traditional themes of love and innocence that have always been central to the Snow White story. For many, Snow White's attraction stems from her optimism, which they believe should not be abandoned in favor of a modernized, cynical version. Zegler's supporters, on the other hand, applaud her for questioning the established order. They say that stories must adapt over time and that Snow White's story may represent modern values while maintaining its basic message. This dispute has erupted on social media, with each statement from Zegler eliciting strong responses. Meanwhile, Cooper's more conventional approach has won over many fans who want to see Snow White return to her original form, which epitomizes compassion, innocence, and the hope that good will win over evil. Fan content supporting Cooper's vision has inundated sites such as TikTok, emphasizing Snow White's adherence to the essence of the original story. In the debate over Snow White adaptations, Zegler's opponents have turned her more provocative views into viral videos, fueling anti-Disney sentiment. These films portray Zegler as disdainful of the original film, exacerbating the rift between those who support modernization and those who prefer nostalgia. The anger against Zegler intensified when she claimed that she had been personally targeted by cyber threats. Some sympathized with her, while others believed that her contemptuous attitude towards the original film had prompted the criticism. Regardless of where you stand, it's clear that the conflict between these two Snow White projects is a microcosm of larger cultural debates about how we treat our beloved childhood icons. As both films prepare to hit theaters and streaming services, the competition heats up. Zegler's Snow White benefits from the power of Disney's brand, which ensures widespread marketing coverage. However, the controversy surrounding Zegler's words may limit the film's potential, especially if fans believe the adaptation disrespects the original. Disney realizes that while its brand is a significant asset, retaining fan goodwill is vital for success. If Zegler's version falters, Brett Cooper's picture, with its more conventional interpretation, might appeal with those wishing for a Snow White authentic to the classic story. The stakes are great, since both films portray opposing perspectives of what Snow White should be. Each version has its own cultural goal, with one emphasizing development and the other promoting nostalgia. And in a society where every detail is scrutinized, even depictions of dwarfs and legendary characters may cause controversy. Peter Dinklage's critique of Disney's portrayal of dwarfs just adds gasoline to the fire, increasing concerns about how both films would address these delicate issues. Cooper's version may take a more conventional approach, which might appeal to people who think Disney has deviated too far from the original. This clash between Zegler's modern Snow White and Cooper's classic version is more than just a competition. It's also a microcosm of a larger cultural discussion about nostalgia, progress, and how we maintain the past while embracing the present. The rivalry is tough, and both films have virtues and weaknesses, but at its core, the Snow White narrative is about hope, compassion, tenacity, and the confidence that good may overcome evil. Whether you like Zegler's contemporary approach or Cooper's return to tradition, the fundamentals of Snow White remain constant. Love and generosity important, Yet the dilemma remains. Should we modify characters to match current tastes or preserve their original magic? So what are your thoughts? Which Snow White version do you prefer? Rachel Zegler's modern reimagining or Brett Cooper's return to tradition? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a breakdown of the latest cultural debates.